Hey guys, it's Craig here with GeekTech.ie back with another video, and today I am doing an introduction to a video that I done a month ago, and it has been a long time and I finally have a chance to do the rest of this video. And this is just a quick introduction to what you're going to be seeing next, and then I'll come back and explain the reasons why, as I say in the video now. Basically I switched from a Fury X to a GTX 1080 Ti, and I've had that Fury X since launch. It was my second Fury X because of the pump issues. That was extremely annoying. Water cooled it, I got it in, I loved it, it was great, it looked great. It wasn't exactly what they promised, but again, I loved it, I was very happy with it, but I've been waiting so long for Vega, and I pulled the trigger and I got a GTX 1080 Ti. And I have been against NVIDIA for a long time, and the last graphics card I had from NVIDIA was a GTX 470. So a good while, and I moved to AMD because I was getting annoyed at NVIDIA. But this is just a quick introduction to the video. I'm going to kind of cut it down, show you guys the main parts of just draining the system. It was supposed to be kind of just a quick video of me just draining the system and putting in the graphics card and just showing what I was doing and showing what it used to look like, the issues I ran into before. Just a quick breakdown of what I was doing. Now the thing is, I didn't go all out on it because I didn't water cool the GTX 1080 Ti because I knew in the future I'd be building an entire new computer, and that one would eventually get water cooled. But I wasn't sure if I was going to be sticking with this specific graphics card, and I might change to a different one because it would be a shame to pull a really good cooler off of that graphics card when I can just do it to a Founders Edition and get pretty much the same performance. So again, I haven't decided, I haven't made decisions on that. But I will talk more about that at the rest of this video. So this is just a quick introduction to the previous video that I did. I've done this a month ago, way before Vega was released, announced, or detailed properly. So I made my decision to switch to a GTX 1080 Ti. So basically the idea of this is I'm going to explain next why I switched to a GTX 1080 Ti before Vega was announced, and why I'm very glad that I did after Vega was announced. So that's basically the gist of this video. So I hope you guys enjoy. I will catch you back now in a minute. Computer. So basically it's all water cooled, and the Fury X, which I've had since launch, is finally coming out. I'm actually replacing it. I have the new graphics card that's going in right here, and I'm not water cooling the new one because again I may end up changing this graphics card, so I don't want the hassle of water cooling and then taking it out again in the near future. But yeah, it's a big card, 3 slots, and it has to go in there. So basically the plan right now is to remove the graphics card, remove this radiator. I was going to just strip out all the water cooling and leave it to, like, you know, an AIO or something like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this part of the water cooling in and a 360 radiator at the top, and that will pretty much handle the CPU alone, and then the graphics card can do its own thing. Some other changes I made to the computer when I was adding this bigger radiator. I had a smaller one in it before, and the reason I added it was so I had a kind of a drain port right there, and basically that's coming out now, and so are these. This is a hard drive caddy and a kind of a small slimline optical disk drive and 2 SSDs. These are all coming out and putting the original things back in. This just wasn't good enough to keep the hard drives cold enough, but at the same time it's not needed. This caddy thing here might end up going in the server at some stage, or I might just get rid of it. I don't know. I haven't really decided. I don't really have more hard drives to go into the server, so I don't think I'll actually use it. But yeah, this is pretty much the plan, is to just strip it out and have just one radiator cooling the CPU, and then throw the graphics card in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the video now, and I'm just going to start pulling everything out. I might take a few small videos and stuff and throw them in after this, of just different parts that I'm doing and getting it in and getting it running. Just want to do a quick part here about draining it, and the problem I had the first time I actually had to drain this. Originally that graphics card was actually mounted right here, and it was facing this way, but the PCI riser card extension cable just was causing so many issues. I don't know which ones to get. It was fine for ages, but it just kept causing problems. I think a BIOS updated something, and then it just started freaking out and stuff. Maybe it was trying to run at a different speed, I don't know. But I just had to pull it out at some stage because it was the only way to test it. I put a graphics card in around it, and it was an absolute nightmare. I think I should have an image somewhere. I think we took an image, didn't we, of the graphics card in behind it. Yeah, I'll post that image now, and you can see it. It was an absolute nightmare to get that in. So once we tested a proper graphics card in, I ruled out that it was nothing else with the computer. It was just that connection. So I had to drain the computer. But so basically, this is this was the idea I had. It was just, I got this radiator, I needed something to connect it up, and I saw that it had a kind of an extra port at the back just for draining or filling, whatever. And I got a few connections off a guy, and this part here completely seized up, and the little twisty part that you had, the plastic, just completely snapped off when I was trying to turn it. So it's an absolute nightmare to turn this because it's seized, but it should be okay. So this won't get rid of all of the liquid, but it will get rid of most of it in this. Once I get this empty, well, then I can just disconnect one of these. If there's not enough, you know, if there's a bit gone out of it and stuff, I can just pour that one in, and then I can open the top tank, and then the air pressure and that will do it. It's like, if I'm doing water cooling again in the future with a different case, I will be doing a lot of differences, but this is just the way I did it for this. And for the most part, it worked fine. It's just, yeah, it's annoying to drain it and fill it and stuff. So once this part here is done, and it's just this part, it should be a lot easier to fill. So yeah, I just wanted to show you this part here. So this will be going straight into a bucket, and it will empty most of the liquid in there. So yeah, fun times. Pretty much the system, like, dismantled mostly. Had to kind of jerry rig some bottles just to get all the liquid captured, so it didn't go all over the place. Pretty much everything is stripped out at this stage, even the 360mm radiator. You can actually see where I cut the metal here just so it could actually fit a 360 in the first place. That's the 360 radiator. It's not the best make, it does the job, but I would love to replace it if I had another one. I have other radiators here, but I don't think I have one that would actually be any better than that one. I would have loved to put the dual radiator back in. It's too big, I've nowhere to put it, and I've no need for it with just the CPU being cooled, so I'm not going to bother. It'll just be CPU, reservoir pump, 360mm radiator at the top, nice and hidden. And the thing is, I had these fans in it. I actually got these because they were red and they went with the whole theme of it, but they are significantly louder than a standard Noxio NF12, and the thing about it is they're hidden pretty much. Radiator sits here on top and the fans go underneath, so they're completely hidden. So I'm going to just put 3 NF12s there. They're much more silent, and they will do a better job of keeping everything cool. So that's pretty much it. I might end up replacing this fan as well. This is actually an intake fan. Some people might have noticed in the other videos there, the other part of the video, that's actually intake, so that just pulls air in and it was going to the radiator. The reason I had that was with the hard drive caddy here and the big ass radiator down here, there wasn't a lot of airflow getting pulled into the computer, so I just wanted to have more airflow going in. I might end up flipping it now because there will be 2 fans here pulling air in, and then there'll be 3 fans out. I might leave it as yoke and just have like all the air coming in from both sides and then going out upwards. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this. I could just take this fan out completely and just leave it blank, but it seems like a waste of space, so I haven't really decided yet. But this is pretty much what it looks like so far. It was a complete mess. I had bottles everywhere just catching the liquid as it was coming out. This is not a good system, not water cooled in the sense that you could drain it easily. It's not, it wasn't designed perfectly. What I would do next time is just, you know, obviously get radiators with fill ports and stuff like that, and would have made it so much easier to just open the cap and then drain it. All the air just would have went straight down and into it. It would have worked magically. So that's something I would do in the future. But yeah, this is pretty much it so far. We're almost done now. I'm basically filling it up. I have all the fans in, and they were kind of annoying to get in because, again, like, this case doesn't support a 360mm radiator, so it had to be cut. So lining up the screw holes and stuff, it was irritating. It was lucky I had my friend Carl here at the time, and he's gone out because this part is just pretty straightforward, and it's just a matter of throwing it in. I noticed that the tubing that I got, I had to get something just in the meantime. I probably would have had enough of the other stuff, but I didn't want to reuse any. It's like, it's way more like flexible and stuff, so I mean, you could consider that lesser quality because it's probably less material and stuff, but it looks okay. It looks grand. It'll do the job. Again, it's just, you know, pump reservoir straight to radiator, well, straight to CPU and then radiator, so it'll be easy peasy. So yeah, it's just a matter of filling it. I've already thrown in a bit, and I've put the jumper there, as you can see. So we're pretty much good to go at this stage. I'm going to skip ahead and I'm going to start filling this bad boy up, and hopefully it doesn't take too long and then I have to bleed it and get all the air out. It's kind of awkward with 360mm radiators and stuff at the top, but it'll be done and it will be finally ready to take that graphics card back in, and that'll look great. So yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Okay, we are pretty much done now. The system is filled. I've pretty much gotten all the bubbles out. Might be some more that I need to do some more bleeding at a later date. I can do that another time, but right now everything is perfect. And the tubing that I've switched to, because it was kind of a slightly different color, it was like it wasn't perfectly clear, kind of had like a foggy thing. It's actually given a nice kind of a shimmer to it with the lights inside. I have really shitty LEDs in there, but it gives a nice shimmer to it, and I actually think it looks really, really good. It actually looks good on camera, so I hope you guys can see. I'm actually pretty pleased with it. So basically, you can see this one, it has got a lot of slag on it. There's a few reasons I did that. One, the graphics card's going to be going here, and I wanted to make sure that if I'm pulling things out or if I want to get the cables, I have enough maneuverability to get it out of the way anytime I need to. Again, this isn't supposed to be like design or anything, look good or anything. It's just supposed to be getting it working for the meantime, because eventually I will be upgrading this computer. I will be swapping out a lot of components, and I will be changing the case. That will be a future build video, and I will be doing that from the ground up, so that should be good fun. But in the meantime, I just wanted to show you guys what I was doing, and I will be doing another part of this. I won't be doing it today. I have to go out now, so I just wanted to do a bit of leak testing just to see if everything was okay. Everything seems pretty grand. I've drained this and refilled it a few times since I originally put it together, and there's never been an issue. I've never once had any leaks or spills in it, so everything's grand so far. So this is pretty much it. Again, nice little bit of slag there, but I don't know, whatever. It's not like, technically I was thinking I could actually just kind of lift it up there and kind of tie it to that, so all you would see is the two kind of loops coming out. You wouldn't really see the back one or anything like that from the window. But to be honest with you, I'm okay with the way it is. It looks okay. It looks grand. It'll do the job. Performance will be fine. All the nocturnal fans in there will do a great job of pulling the air out. I'm going to leave that as an intake for now. The way I've mounted these hard drives, as I showed you before, I took out that cage thingy. That had 3 hard drives in it, and then I took out the Blu-ray. I used to have 2 SSDs in that. They were actually my main SSDs, and I literally put that in just because I wanted a place to put them to get them in a array. I used to mount them right here, and I didn't, like, there was no issue with it. It's just I had that, and I just thought I'll throw it in. It took 2 Molex power connectors on it, and it gave me a CD drive. Not that I really use it, but it was Blu-ray as well. I had it, so I just decided to throw it in, because, you know, why not? But yeah, I've taken that out, and basically the 3 hard drives are in there now. As you can see, this is the original cage with the original fans. Yeah, I hit pause there by mistake. Basically, yeah, so that's the original fans on it with the lights and stuff. As you can see, all that is working grand. There's the cutout for where the handle used to be, which I actually never used. I would never lift a computer with this amount of weight with that handle. Even though it was bolted in, it probably would have done it. Always lift from the bottom, in my opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I will show you guys one more video of the graphics card in, and it pretty much finished, and then I will cut to my reasons why I switched. And so basically everything is finally in. I'm just doing some leak testing. Everything seems grand. I've left it running for about an hour or so at this stage, and no problems at all. I've kind of, you know, given a wiggle to all the joints and all the parts of it, so just to make sure there's no issues. Everything seems grand. Graphics card's in, fits nicely. I noticed there's actually not that much, if any, sag at all. There's a tiny bit, but you know, for a 3-slot card I'd expected a lot more, but it seems to be holding steady in there, and everything seems to be grand. Cables are in. In fact, if you look back there, I don't know if you can see it properly, but basically one of the grommets there for the case, pretty much every cable is going through that, including the power for the hard drive, the SATA cables, everything goes through that. So yeah, it's a tight squeeze, but I got these cables through. They used to come through here for the Fury X, because it ended right about here, but obviously this card's much bigger, and I didn't want the cable drooping all the way over here, so it looks much nicer. It's nice and braided and stuff, so it looks good. Everything seems to be golden. It should be running nicely. I will check the temperature of the CPU and see if there's much of a difference. I have all the results I did before. I don't expect there to be much of a difference. Again, I've lost the graphics card, I've lost the radiator, but to be honest with you, the 5960X is only over. I used to have it overclocked to 4.45 gigahertz, but now it's only at like 4.3. That's enough. The RAM's at 2800 megahertz. It's only 2666 memory, but I have it running at 2800, and everything seems to be smooth. I've had no issues. So, but that's pretty much it. Just want to give you guys one final look at it. Obviously the board and stuff isn't powered up with the graphics card, so you don't really get to see the final look of it again. But I wasn't really going for aesthetics with this build. It was just literally to get it back up and running, but I still wanted to use all the previous water cooling parts that I have. I wasn't going to take them all out and put something else in. I do. So that's up and running. That's grand. Everything's good to go. Obviously I have to test it, and I have the other part of the video which I'll be doing probably today, about why I switched to a GTX 1080 Ti over the Fury X. Obviously, over the obvious performance differences and stuff aside, but the reason why I hadn't gotten a GTX 1080 in the first place, or 1080 Ti, I'll explain that shortly. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick final look at it. I do love that shimmer of the red light, the glow on the red liquid. It looks great. That's it there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you later. Okay, so that is pretty much what I did with my computer about a month ago, and I'm very happy with it so far. It's been running smoothly. GTX 1080 Ti is an absolute beast of a graphics card. NVIDIA deserve a pat on the back. Now, the thing about me with NVIDIA, the last graphics card I had, I think I mentioned previously, was a GTX 470, and I hated that graphics card. It was so loud, and it was delayed, and it was loud, and it underperformed. It was just not good, and it's not that it put me off NVIDIA at the time. It's just I felt like I wanted more. I had two of them, and boy were they loud. They were blower cards and everything, and I just felt so bad for getting them. My fault for getting blower cards, but at the time I didn't want to be putting two graphics cards with that much heat into the system. I just couldn't. It would have been a bad idea at the time. But again, since then I've had only AMD graphics cards: 6950, 7970, 290X, and then Fury X is what I upgraded to. And I've had the Fury X since its launch, and I loved it. It was a great card. The pump whine at the beginning, I had to go through two of them, and I got fed up with it. Stock issues, I could not get a replacement, so I just got an EK water block, slapped it on, I mounted it. I'll throw up a picture now, and you can see how it looked. I was very happy with that, the CM Storm Trooper case. It looked fantastic. I was very happy with the way it was mounted and stuff. After a while, about a year or so, I ran into issues with the PCI extension cable. They weren't really huge when I put that together like that. They were available, but they were very hard to get. And I got some from Taiwan. Some guy, I can't remember his name. If I can remember his name, if he's still doing it, I'll throw up his yoke. If he's not, I won't. But I got them, and they worked grand. It's just after a while, they just stopped. And I was getting boot errors. The computer wouldn't boot, so I literally had to drain the system and put the graphics card in. I'm going to show you a picture of what I had to do just to test it, to prove that it wasn't the motherboard or the CPU or anything. I had to maneuver a 290X, Sapphire 290X, around the Fury X just to get it into position, just to plug it into the board directly and test it, and it worked perfectly fine. So I knew it was the cable, so I drained the system, put it back together, and that's what it looked like before I took it apart there and put in the GTX 1080 Ti. So the quick thing I want to mention is, why did I switch to a GTX 1080 Ti before Vega was out? Shouldn't I have just waited the extra month, found out what Vega was like, and then made my decision? Yes, I probably should have, but one, I'm glad I didn't. I was glad I didn't right afterwards, because I love the GTX 1080 Ti, amazing performance, and whisper quiet, Gigabyte ORS is fantastic. And I think I knew that switching now was a good idea, because I didn't want to be hanging on to a Fury X right up until Vega. But again, Fury X is still actually a really good card. It's just, it has its drawbacks, I guess. So yeah, I just wanted to make it clear. The reason I switched mostly was because of Computex, and because AMD did not show off anything concrete, anything official about Vega, other than a shitty demo with Threadripper. Absolutely gorgeous. That's probably what my next build is going to be, so very much looking forward to getting my hands on one of those beasts. It'll replace my 5960X. But I think when I looked at that demo, Doom demo, 4K in Crossfire, I thought to myself, why are they showing this in Crossfire? No one cares about Crossfire. If you can't offer us the fastest single graphics card performance like was promised, I'm pretty sure Raja made a tweet about it saying that it would be one of the fastest single graphics cards on the market. But then they started showing it in Crossfire, and I felt like, looking back at the RX 480s, when the big marketing aspect of that was that they were cheaper than a GTX 1080 and more performance. But again, Crossfire is a little, same with SLI. It's never a good idea. Don't bank on it being the best performance. If you're buying two of the best graphics cards and crossfiring them, so be it. You have the money, do it, but don't think that combining two low-key graphics cards is going to get you better performance, because they just never work out the way they're supposed to. But after that, after Computex, I started looking into it more, and I started realizing AMD are doing it again. They're making false promises, their marketing is shit, and they are not going to be able to deliver Vega with the performance we're hoping for. Because if they could have, if Vega was even close to what they were previously promising, they would have shown us that. They would have given us something concrete that would have went, okay, it's worth waiting for. But they gave us something crap. And I thought, why give us that? That just turns a lot of people off. So clearly they're trying to curb people's expectations. So effectively, I just thought, okay, GTX 1080 Ti. So I looked at prices. I got one for a really good price, under €700, and I was very happy with it. It's a great graphics card. Now, Vega's been announced. Now Vega is here. Why am I so happy that I made that switch? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, pricing is a massive headache. Two, the performance is not what we wanted. The power draw is like, so basically Vega, to sum it up, it uses more power, it performs less, and it costs nearly the same as a GTX 1080. That is just unacceptable and not good enough based on previous promises. Poor Volta, I mean, seriously, who thought that was a good idea? Who at AMD thought, they just realized it was funny. I think it was done in editing. I think they realized, oh look, poor voltage, and then they changed it. Or someone came up with the idea and thought it'd be funny. That was a stupid mistake. It was a really bad mistake, because you just basically screwed yourselves over there by telling everyone poor Volta and not delivering better than Pascal. So yeah, I think AMD have trouble with their marketing, and they have for a long time. Ryzen has been epic, and I looked, compared to Vega and Ryzen, I was looking, they are showing off Ryzen so much before the launch. They're giving us demos after demos, comparison after comparison. Vega, they gave us nothing, and it was so obvious after Computex that they did not have anything worth showing, and that was as clear as day. So that's when I made the switch, and now they have screwed up pricing, they've screwed up stock, and they've screwed up their SKUs. Oh my god, what Radeon packs? Seriously, that was who? I think what's happening here, because Raja has been completely silent, and I've been reading, and I 100% agree that he did not want to sell Vega for as high as the price that it is. He wanted Vega to be much cheaper, and I think, like, not lose money on Vega, but, you know, not make real money on Vega. And obviously I think their CFO, whoever made the decision to not do that, undercut him and just said, no, we're not doing that. And it's a shame, because I don't know what just fell there, but that was spooky. Anyway, Raj is coming to get me, or someone's coming to get me. But I think basically looking at the pricing structure on these Radeon packs, if you want a liquid edition or the limited edition Vega 64, you have to get it in a Radeon pack. I think there were some available like outside of it by mistake or just by random luck, but I don't think that is the case anymore. And I've seen a lot of talk now, and I think Gibbo from Overclockers was the first to say it, that the £449 price without the free games was an introductory price. It was like a rebate that they got to allow them to sell it at that price, but they can't anymore. £549 is the price with the free games for Vega 64, and I don't even think that's the liquid edition. I haven't even seen a liquid edition available for sale, but again, I don't think there's much between the Air and the liquid edition. There might be some a little bit, but again, the pricing, oh my god, they screwed that up so much. They basically sent these cards out to reviewers and told them this was going to be the price, but now it's not. You will never get that card for that price, I don't think. And AMD, even I think just today, released a statement saying that they were going to replenish the stock, and you know, stock is going to be coming in and stuff like that. But again, every retailer has stated categorically that they're getting massive amount of stock for the Radeon packs, but not much. Like, they're getting like a fraction for the standalone, and that is just, I can't even fathom why they think that's a good idea. Yes, the cards are selling to a lot of loyal customers who've been waiting, who had probably great FreeSync monitors who they finally get to take advantage of now at a higher scale. I understand that Vega will sell mostly because people have been waiting for it, but in my mind, do not put money into a company that has lied repeatedly, effectively lied to reviewers, because one, they gave them F all time with the actual cards. Like, they gave them like 2 days, 3 days with some of them. I know Adored TV literally is one of the only few that I've seen with the liquid edition, and he had 2 days to do tests. That is just not enough for a graphics card. And they told everyone what the prices were going to be, but that's not actually the case anymore. And again, even with all these like kind of like difficulties for reviewers and the pricing not being 100% clear, they still got pretty woeful reviews. I mean, there's just nothing really positive other than FreeSync and the high compute for Vega. That's pretty much the only two aspects of it. But again, don't forget, it uses a ton more power, a lot more power, which I find is just, it's just not a good idea. So I just, again, it's just the sum of Vega is pretty obvious. It uses more power, it performs less, and it costs nearly the same. Where's the benefit? I mean, I understand FreeSync might be a key there. Their DirectX 12 is better. I understand that. Again, I'm not trying to start some sort of a controversy argument. That's not what this is, because I've been praying for AMD to deliver something big. They just haven't. But the worst part is that they did not make that clear. They tried to be ambiguous through all of it. Their marketing sucked, and they've pretty much, in my mind, lied directly to consumers with these pricing nonsense. And whoever came up with that is trying to leverage Ryzen. They're trying to make more profit on Ryzen by selling the graphics cards for cheaper, but you're forcing people to get discounts on products they may not want just to get your graphics card. That you're taking advantage of your loyal customers, and in my mind, that is disgusting and it's wrong. And like charging more to get free games, there's just so many triggers here that just annoy me so much that, I mean, it's basically, we have two companies that do shitty practices. And again, a lot of AMD people were laughing at NVIDIA for their whole GTX 970 scandal nonsense. And again, this is no different. This is the same. And now I'm reading that there's two different versions of Vega, one with the kind of seal around it, which is much better if you're water cooling it, because the thermal paste getting in between FuriX was a nightmare to clean. And I didn't even know you could easily break that interposer by putting too much pressure on it. I'm glad I didn't know that right away, because I would have been like too overly cautious with it, but I cleaned it and it was fine. But again, it's just, there's so many things that are question marks that are flinging around, and there's so many negatives surrounded by Vega that it is just an absolute screw up in my mind. Maybe Vega, what I hope is that Vega gets a little bit better in the future, but in my mind, what really annoyed me was in their press briefing, in the document, they had at the end of it, and it was a picture of a bottle of wine with the Vega logo. And I thought, are they actually officially, in a way, nudging fine wine technology? Because that to me is just, and I've been an advocate of the fact that AMD cards get better over time, but they have to be really good first and then get better after time. You can't under deliver and then expect people to hold on to a card because it'll get better in the future, or hope that it'll get better in the future. The whole point before was that a 290X was good and it consistently stayed good for a long period of time. And that's just not the case with Vega. Vega is not going to get much of an advantage in the future. I'm hoping it does. The high bandwidth memory and the high bandwidth cache, these are great technologies that will benefit the next line of graphics cards. They will not benefit Vega, in my mind. I just don't see it. And even if it did, even if I'm wrong, even if Vega got better in a year's time and its performance was closer to a GTX 1080 Ti, why buy it now? Buy it then when it's cheaper. What you're basically saying to everyone, our graphics cards will be great next year. Okay, I'll buy GTX 1080 Ti now, sell it next year, then buy your graphics card for cheaper when it actually performs better. So again, it's just, in my mind, if like FreeSync is their big play here, and it's not enough, you know. I mean, like, buy a G-Sync monitor, spend the extra money on a good G-Sync monitor, get the full range of a G-Sync monitor, full benefits of a G-Sync monitor, be happy with it, and remember, the value of that will stay held. You know, there's more NVIDIA graphics cards out there, so that will hold. You know, you're investing more money in it, but it will hold its value for longer, because there are more people that will benefit from G-Sync monitors than AMD FreeSync. And FreeSync, I just think, I've got two LG 4K monitors there, and the FreeSync range of them are 48 to 60 hertz. I understand that can be a benefit, but that is such a narrow range. I know FreeSync 2 is supposed to be this big deal, but there's just not enough monitors to really truly take advantage of it properly like G-Sync does. G-Sync adds the hardware properly, and like, you don't get a G-Sync monitor without it being properly G-Sync. But FreeSync it's just so random, you know. And sometimes I'm looking for monitors and I can't even tell what the ranges are, and then I find they're really small or they're not, like, it's just I see issues and stuff, and it's just not as clear as G-Sync is. G-Sync is G-Sync, that's it. Variable refresh rate, that's what it is, that's what it does. It's the same all the way. So that's pretty much my video on why I switched to a GTX 1080 Ti. I still haven't figured out what I'm even going to call this video, because it's more of a kind of a rant against Vega. But again, it's just the countless promises and the countless under delivering. I just got so fed up with waiting. It was such nonsense. I mean, I'm like, switching to a GTX 1080 Ti made me feel a bit better because it hasn't been out that long. But again, AMD, I wish they could have nailed it. I wish they could have just beat a GTX 10, or even come very close to a GTX 1080 Ti, so much so that there was like neck and neck, because then I would have been able to think, okay, it's going to get better. But just the fact that it's so uses so more power, and the fact that the pricing is just such a mess. It hurts. It really hurts. It's just, I know it might sound like really like seriously first world problems, but it's one of those things where NVIDIA are seriously in the top range, are only competing with themselves. And that's the reason why they're still delivering better graphics cards, because that's the only way they make more money, is to deliver a new, better graphics card than the last generation, so people can move up in the world, get a better performance, pay more money. That's just the way it works. That's the way these kind of monopolies kind of work. Now, the thing about it is, AMD still win in the mid-range, the low end, like the RX 480 and 580, if you can manage to get a hold of one. And again, that's probably the reason why all these things are existing the way they are, the whole mining thing. And it's just, I know AMD are going to aggressively go after that. And they are, of course they are. The 580s and stuff are pretty much directly aimed at it if you look closely. So I don't know. I don't know where that leaves anyone looking for the enthusiast high-end graphics cards. I know Volta will be next year. I don't know what AMD can do next. I don't know how long we're going to wait. I do believe that this is going to be a shift in AMD's attitude. I think they will take marketing more serious. I think they will be very clear on pricing in the future. I'm hoping that they try and sort this out, because even the statement they released today was not clear and not concise. So yeah, that's pretty much my my thoughts on that. I hope they improve drastically in those departments. They have amazing hardware, amazing technology, but it's just not good enough. And they put a lot of like money behind these things, but they don't have the ability to deliver in the end. It's just so much technology, and I know Vega probably cost them a lot of money to manufacture, and a lot of money gets lost on any real discounts and stuff. But again, that's just the way it is. They have a lesser performing, higher consuming, power consuming product that they just can't sell at a low enough price. I guarantee you NVIDIA will drop the price of a 1080 Ti. I can just see it right now. They're just gonna bring that down. Pascal has already been out a year. They already have the dies, they already have the hardware. They're just a little bit. They'll just bring it down a little bit, just to make people think that's a better card. I'll go for that one. Yeah, good. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too long. But those are some of my thoughts. Yeah, so don't forget, I will definitely be working on more videos now. I've kind of planned to do more videos. That's why I'm so glad that I had an opportunity to do this one. I got everything set up for it. I hope you enjoyed the background and stuff. It's just a lot of random nonsense. And yes, I will have another video. I'm actually working on one for kind of cable management, which is kind of something that I always put extra effort into, and not just cable management inside a computer. And that's something that I quite enjoy, because I love getting things neat, and I've done a lot of tricks around my desk behind it and stuff. So that's something that I'll be working on next. And then I'm building a new computer, a Ryzen. Again, not against AMD or anything like that, just straight up underwhelmed with Vega. But I do think Ryzen is absolutely killer. I'm so happy that AMD killed it with that, and Threadripper is amazing. But a 1700X, Crosshair 6 Hero, and some Trident Z memory. That's all going to be going into his computer. He has been using a Rampage 4 Extreme. It was mine from years ago on a 3960X, but he got a Rift. USBs are incompatible. Bought a card. Everything's worked grand now, but he just realized, I'm upgrading. This is too old. And like a 1700X outperforms that gladly. So that's why he's upgrading. So happy for him. So I'll be doing a whole video for that, so you can make sure to check that out. Again, sorry this video was so long, but I had a lot to say about Vega and a lot that I've wanted to say for a while. So we're probably looking at about 26 minutes of this video, so I do apologize, but please do subscribe if you can, like the video, and check out my next videos. Hope to see you guys next week, and enjoy.